Hi everyone, Ankit's from TuteBuy, still here. Welcome back to our course. Let's commence our lesson today. In this lesson, I will guide you to learn variables based on the coding. The prior lesson, go back to the previous lesson. If you want to adjust the blinking speed of the LED, for instance, to hasten up the blinking speed of the onboard LED, how should you do it? Just alter the parameters of the two delay functions to a smaller number, then recompile and upload the code, and you will see the onboard LED blink faster. If you think it's still not swift enough or it's already too swift, in order to change its speed again, you need to change the code again and upload the code until you are content with it. Each time you adjust the speed, you need to modify the parameters in both delay functions. Now that there are only two delay functions in the program, it's easy to modify the blink speed, but if you need to adjust the blink speed frequently, it will be painful. Are there any convenient ways to modify LED on and off times together? There is use variables. So first I want to introduce you to the concept of variables. And programming variables are a programming tool that help you store and recall information in your program. Think of variables as boxes. You can put whatever you want inside or replace it later, and you will label it so you know what that box is being used for later on. After the variable is created, as long as you know its name, you can get the value inside. So how do we use variables? In this lesson, we first create a variable called delay time and then give it an initial value of 1000. When the delay function takes parameter, we let both delay functions read the value of the delay time variable. The value of delay time is 1000, so the LED blink at an interval of 1000 milliseconds. Then if we wish to accelerate the flashing speed, we adjust the value of the delay time variable accordingly. The parameters of the two delay time functions will also alter in this manner. We only need to modify the value of the delay time variable instead of adjusting the values in the two delay functions separately. Back to the code. How to utilize variables? Firstly, you must declare the variable before the code. Type int delay time and equal sign 1000 and conclude with a semicolon. You may be able to perceive that this statement defines a delay time variable and sets its value to 1000. However, you also need to discern what this statement actually signifies. Here are integers, and the numbers we utilize on a daily basis without a decimal point are integers such as -1, 3, 100, etc. And for instance, -1.5, 3/4 and 3.14 are not integers. In addition to it, there are numerous other data types, which we will learn later. In the course now, you must comprehend two things. 1. There are distinct types of variables. 2. The data type is utilized to store integer numbers. Perusing below, you can see that variables of type and have a range, and for this board the range of int is -3 to 768 to 3 to 767. Normally we will not surpass this range, but bear in mind that it is not unlimited like the container mentioned in the prior example. There is no concept of an infinitely large container. Reviewing the syntax item, here is the utilization of integer. You can observe the syntax for declaring and assigning variables. First is to declare the data type of this variable and then a variable name followed by an equal sign. In the Arduino programming language, it is also referred to as the assignment operator. After that, you specify the value you wish to assign to the variable, and lastly, add a semicolon. Returning to the code, we announce a variable named delay time and provide it with a value of 1000. When you encounter delay time, you might question why such a variable name. It's a valid question. There is fundamental knowledge that you must possess. There are naming regulations for variables. And breaching those regulations will result in errors. The general regulations for naming variables are names can consist of letters, digits, and underscores but cannot include spaces or special characters like an exclamation mark, pound sign, percentage sign, etc. My underscore tut by or I underscore learn underscore by underscore tut by are acceptable names. But my underscore space underscore tut by, I underscore learn underscore by underscore tut by underscore exclamation mark, and pound sign tut by are inadequate names. Furthermore, variable names should commence with a letter or an underscore and cannot originate with a number. Tut by underscore 1 or underscore underscore tut by underscore 1 are legitimate names, while 1 underscore tut by is an unacceptable name. Thirdly, names are case sensitive. My underscore tut by and my underscore tut by are distinct variables. Finally, reserved words like integer cannot be utilized as names in the Arduino programming language. Some words are off limits for particular purposes, known as reserved words or keywords. Avoid using them as variable names, such as in this lesson and most of the words you can view on the Arduino reference page. Typically, VS Code will highlight these words like integer. Furthermore, I have a few recommendations for you regarding naming variables. These recommendations are optional and the compiler will not generate an error if you disregard them. Nevertheless, I highly advise you to adhere to them. Utilize camel case, which is in line with the C programming convention. Most Arduino libraries name variables and functions in this manner. Camel case signifies the separation of words with a single capitalized letter, with the first word starting with either case. I suggest using lowercase for single words and capitalizing the first letter of each word for multiple words, except for the first word. For instance, my first name, my last name, and you will notice that the variable names resemble a camel's hump. Second, variable names should be brief and descriptive. For example, for a variable storing the LED blink interval time in this lesson, it is preferable to make the variable name relevant to its function. Naming this variable tut by could lead to confusion. While the Arduino IDE and compiler may still work properly without errors, it can become challenging to understand the code as it gets more complex or when sharing it with others. Instead of using vague names like tut by, opt for more descriptive terms like delayed instead of time of delay. The variable names should be meaningful yet easy to understand. Remember to add comments when declaring variables to help explain their purpose, such as the time interval between LED on and off. Let's truly utilize them. You are able to acquire the value of a variable by using its name. Substitute the parameter 500 in the two delay functions with delay. It upload the code and see if the code works consistently. Oh, an error occurred. Compilation error. Delay time was not declared in this scope. I'm variable. What's going on? Let's take a look at the code again. It turns out that is not capitalized when we use the variable. Remember what I said, variables are case sensitive, and in the computer's view delay time and delay time are two different. Variables modify it and upload the code again. As you can see, the UNO board behaves the same as before. The LED blinks every second. Now we can adjust its blinking speed much more easily. In the code, set the delay time value to a smaller value such as 500 and upload the code again, and you can see that the LED blinks faster at the front of the code. We assign the delay time variable to 500. Whenever you alter the value of this variable, every location where the variable is used will be altered simultaneously. This is one of the advantages of variables. You can customize your program more effortlessly. Furthermore, variables have another benefit: they enhance the readability of your program. If you demonstrate your program to a friend, he may not understand what to do. But if you use sensible variable names and write reasonable comments after your basic explanation, he will quickly comprehend that he only needs to adjust the value of the delay time variable to modify the LED blinking effect. In this session we acquired knowledge about variables. Now let's recap essential points about variables. Variables are a crucial tool that allows you to store and retrieve information in your program. Variables must be declared before they are utilized. The declaration of a variable consists of variable type, variable name, assignment operator, and value. There are numerous types of variables, and each type holds different data. Naming variables must adhere to specific guidelines. Names can include letters, digits, and underscores, and variable names should commence with a letter or an underscore. Finally, names are case-sensitive. At least reserved words such as int cannot be utilized as names. There are also some recommendations regarding variable naming. Use camel case, and variable names should be concise and descriptive in the subsequent. And if you are new to my channel, so please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification so you never miss my latest video updates. Thank you so much, guys.